Hello, everyone, and welcome back to From Within She Rises. Today we have a guest, and this is someone who lives in and teaches from the edge, the place between who you were and who you are becoming. Her work helps people navigate that messy but beautiful, confusing in between space where you can feel your growth before your life starts to reflect it. I'm so excited to welcome Adriana here today, a truest self activator, a breathwork facilitator, a trauma informed coach, and someone who deeply believes that your power already lives inside of you. She guides people to stop just surviving and start stepping into their own brilliance, even when everything around them hasn't caught up yet. She's a lover of life, a dreamer, and a passionate guide for anyone who knows that becoming isn't a destination, it is an unfolding. So let's drop in. Today we are talking about this in between space, so I invite you to close your eyes and just breathe in to that space where fear lives. The fear that if the world does not reflect what you want now, that you can't take that first step toward it. As you breathe into it, I want you to release any tension that lives there and replace it with love. And the knowing that with each step forward into the unknown, you are creating the external world that you are dreaming of. You just have to trust and take those steps forward before. Coming back into the room, let's start this beautiful conversation with Adriana. I'd love for you to just tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into the nitty-gritty.
Hello, Jess, and hello, everyone. So I am Adriana. I'm Romanian. I live in France, and I am a lover of life and people. And I'm also an intuitive channeler and a true self activator. And what that means for me, it is when I was younger, I remember I was at the university, and I've always been like since I was born. I even joke about this that I'm the responsible one in my family. I was a responsible baby, but also I was always so positive. Like my nature was like that. And I remember being in my years of university in Romania, and I kind of some of my friends were seeing me as in a way because I was so like positive and youthful energy and let's just do the things and happy. And even though my reality didn't reflect that, but this was who I was and still am. And they thought about me that I'm kind of a people pleaser. And I
Yeah.
didn't realize back then that they said that actually like their reaction and their attitude meant that. But now I know it very
Mm,
well. And when I say a true self activator, like I realize when you shed the layers, like I see the onion with my channeling, I can feel the energy of the people. And I had a lot of sessions when I close down the eyes and I feel that person and I can feel the light and the beauty and like the power that comes from the root, depends on the person, how, whatever like the energy is and ancestral or, and everything that's in that
yeah.
person, I can feel that. And I realize, you know what? People can say from the outside because they can perceive you through their own lens and they will say,
Mm,
this is who you are. But actually, you are that person in their eyes. And then another person comes and says something else. Like you go to a movie and everybody has a different opinion. So then I was like, oh, but me at my essence, at my core, I'm not like that. I truly want people to be happy and thrive because I'm curious how far I
yes.
can go. And when I feel
Yeah.
that energy and I can see that your reality on the outside, you look like you have health problem, health issues and a lot of things that seems like trauma or whatever, but I can feel it, your energy, that you have this light and power and excitement inside of you. And then I'm like, okay, there's something that's misleading here. You're at your core, you're different,
Mm,
but you have all these layers. So let's peel that onion and just go to the core.
yes.
And that for
Yes.
me, I realized I wasn't pleasing anybody. I was like that and
Yeah.
I still am like that. So this is why I am so excited to activate that in people through energy embodiment work, breath work a lot because I combine all of this. And
Mm.
how you can translate that in your, like, let's say, the human, not the spirit, because I always say that we have a dance. This is my vision of
Yeah.
seeing the things, a dance between the human and the spirit. And let's
Mhm.
put it in the 3D. You are not what everybody says, because I have kids that are now 8, and when they were babies, nobody will say about my twins, oh, you cannot do that, you cannot speak English, you cannot, you're not so beautiful, you're never gonna walk, you're not gonna arrive. You don't say, like, nobody is born with all the layers that we have right now. So if you
Yeah.
see them, because if you go back and you're a baby and you don't have the layers, you have a
Mhm.
land of possibility in front of you, and you can be whatever you want. And
Yes.
the kids are exactly like this. Today I'm that, and I'm doing this right now, and in 2 seconds I'm doing it the other side. Oh, you don't feel bad that you left that thing and you just felt the nudge to go on the other. No, I'm just fine. I'm fine. I'm just gonna do the stuff. So wherever you go from the adult and you shed the layers, or you go from the baby, you arrive to the essence at the core of the onion, or whatever you want to call it. And you are this, like, infinite, like limitless. You have
Yes.
everything inside of you. This is something that I believe. But it's you going in and deciding. Because I've learned over the years in my life, when I decide, even let's
Mm.
say I go in a direction and I see that things are not going, I'm just gonna shift on the left, on the right, and I'm gonna try again. And I'm gonna learn
Yes.
and learn about myself more. And I'm gonna own myself more. Because the more I get in and I zoom out the rest, the more like my essence is flourishing and blossoming. And this is why I
Yeah.
call myself a true self-activator, because at the essence, you are everything. And everything you wish to be, you already are. Sarah Landon says this, and I really love it. Like, you already are everything you wish to be. You just let yourself be that person and go in and search and discover and be adventurous, how you call it, with
Yeah.
your
That's
greatness.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I do truly believe that there's limitless timelines, right? Like you can literally snap your fingers and choose to be whatever you want. I think the problem is though, you like you said, you pick this thing, you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this. But then it's actually embodying it. It's actually
Mm,
clearing all of these layers, like you said, that are in the way of actually executing. So it's one thing saying, I'm okay, this is my decision, but then how do I meet all of the
mm,
pieces of me with radical love that need to be integrated for me to actually get to that version of myself?
mm. Yeah, that's big, because I feel, so I have these past 2 months, I had like these signs. When you say I shed the layers and I release a lot of things, yes, to all of that, but also all the versions of me that have been in the past, they have built me to arrive here. And I
Yes.
anchored all of those. Even though I didn't realize in those moments, I didn't realize when I was at the beginning of my university and my mother got cancer, and I went to her in another city in Romania, and that I saw there 14-year girl that was waiting to take my mother bed to do her treatment, how impactful that was on me. And I was a young woman, but I anchored that, and all the decision that I've made and everything that I have no regrets in my life with whatever
Yes.
choice I've made. And I never had. The only regret is that my sister died so young and I couldn't do anything about that. It wasn't in my hands. But about
Yes.
me, every step along the way, I've been judging myself 100%. I've put
Mm,
myself down
yeah.
100%. But I also, without consciously knowing, because that's part of growing, I anchored myself in everything, because now I want to bring all of that with so much love. I can feel it, even like the energy. I did a live before on my Facebook before this podcast. Like, I even imagine this energy that's coming from the past, and it's sliding
Mm,
to the old into the new, into the present, but it's also touching the
yeah.
future, that version that I want. It's like a temporal coherence of everything that I am and
Mm,
everything that I've been and everything that I'm becoming. And I already am in another timeline. So, but in the
Yeah.
practical way in my body, I do like the breathing, but I bring myself back. How I bring myself back, for me, is very important to feel the feet in the ground. And then I close
Mm.
my eyes down, and I'm like, in a way, it's a validation, a compassion, grace, and a forgiveness of whatever fears I feel. This is something big for me lately.
Mm.
All the time when I feel that I'm growing, the emotions
Yeah.
that most present for me is sadness, has always been that. I don't know exactly why
Mm.
yet. It's not anger,
Mm.
it's not frustration, it's more like a sadness. And then I know, like that ego bet that you feel like
Yeah.
you lose something, but it's still, you're just growing. But now with the forgiveness and bringing those versions with me with so much love and actually a lot of pride, this is what I'm feeling
Mhm.
lately. So I'm so proud of myself to everything that I've been going through. And that comes with such what's the word? Like it is anchoring, it's grounding. Oh, it's expansion. It's like I'm accepting
Mm.
myself in every timeline that I've been until now. And I
Yes.
integrate that in the identity that I have right now, but I am also that I will how you say, take from the future, borrow from the future self something.
Yeah.
So I'm not,
Yeah.
oh, I'm just in the past, because it's not the past that I want to shed. It is everything that built me at my core. Like I take everything, but I don't see it from the perspective, oh, it's that path that I'm shedding and I'm letting go and I don't want to take with me. I take everything in a way that's empowering me. I'm putting in my
Yes.
identity now, and I'm expanding. I make some space in the body, and I feel that I expand from the front of the heart, the back of the heart, the left and the right. And I just make
Mm.
myself bigger so I can hold more. And when I
Yeah.
hold that I have the space in the body, I also feel that fear there. Of course it is. I'm still a human. I still have this experience here. It's for me, a lot of things are still happening at the same time. I have 3 kids,
Yeah.
a
You have
teenager,
children.
I have a business. Yeah, I have a lot of things going on, and I'm still a human, but I accept the human. And that for me is like I'm bringing everything in the present moment. I ground from the past and bringing it here. I expand, I let it sink in. And in those moments when it sinks in, whatever is not serving me is just going in the mother earth and like
Mm.
being how recycled. And then when I'm in that space, I borrow from the future. And I do
Yeah.
this even when I'm in my car. So this is a practice that's like an embodiment that's outgoing all the time for me.
Yeah. Like subconscious now, just happening. That's beautiful. I agree with that. I've heard some people talk about how and I resonate with this in a certain sense that your past, you can go back and rewrite it. And that's kind of
Yes.
what you're saying, right? But you're integrating it, which is also a very important piece. But the reality of it is like your emotional state right now. And I see it because like we all have different perceptions of the exact same situation, right? My mom
Yeah.
and I have been at odds before. We're great now, but like in last I think it was last winter when she was here, she was describing an event in a
Mm,
completely different way than what it had happened for me. And I didn't even have the conversation. I kind of was like, okay. But in that moment, I had this like pattern recognition. And I was like, she's seeing it through like right now she's really upset and she's going back and she's reliving this moment from this upset state. So in healing, right? And becoming more present and doing the work, you get to go back and actually see it from this calm, still, empowered place and change
mm,
it and bring it back with you. So that's exactly what you're saying. So I definitely
yeah.
resonate with that. And everything is happening at the same time, right? Because the only thing that's actually real is right now. Because
Yeah.
every time you look at the past, it's going to be slightly different.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And when you decide in the present moment, because the past has been created in the present moment, like everything,
Mm-hmm.
your
Yeah.
future, you're going to create it in a present moment, whatever that moment it is. But I also like when you decide right now that, let's say you have a future, you have a vision, you have a mission, and you want to decide this is the direction that I'm going, you're going to rewrite that past as well. Like this is something that I'm
Mm,
believing more and more. Is that like the butterfly effect, like the domino
mm,
effect? It's going in
yeah,
every direction because you decide right now. And the more you stay in that
yes.
energy, and the more, like we have a saying in Romania that I say all the time, like the repetition is the mother of learning. So the more you go
Mm,
in that moment, you say, "This is my direction," and you just, it's like you're
yes.
going in the snow in the same path over and over and over
Yeah,
and over. At some point, you're going to see that path. It's so clear for you because
yeah,
you've walked it so many times, and then you can shift because we have
yeah,
this capability to, like, this is the beautiful things about
yeah,
humans. We can go past trauma and people dying in our life. That's really sad and really heavy. And we have the capacity to move through that and heal all of that. And that's, for me,
yeah.
is extremely beautiful because this experience can be, yes, suffering sometimes and hard and challenging. That's the truth. But also depends on from which perspective you're seeing, and also how you allow yourself to move through everything that's going on in your life. When my sister died, oh my God, I never thought that I will live something like that. And then you believe,
Yeah.
people were saying to me afterwards, "Oh, you've changed so much." Of course, I've changed so much because that was something really hard in my life. But
Mhm.
it gave me, I will say, even more purpose. Like,
Yes.
I was even more present because you realize it's like a blink of an eye and everything. Like, that's the story that you had here, and then how you want to tell that story in which way. So you go
Yeah.
back and you center yourself. You go. This is why you are who, like your true self at your core. What do you want truly? What
Mhm.
is it you want? And I want to make an impact. I want to have, like,
Yeah.
financial freedom and a lot of money. I love a lot of brand stuff. This is who I am. This is my truth. And
Mm.
I love that about myself. But I also love to impact others and see them thriving and see
Yeah.
them happy and excited about something, and to see my girls there, wow, I want to do that. And I have all these ideas and I just want to fly and do the things that I enjoy. So give yourself the permission to come back and anchor in who you are, and then shift if it's the
Mhm.
case to shift. You can shift how many times you want. Just think about it in the past, how many times you've already shifted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, the repetitive path thing, that's literally how neuroplasticity works, right? Like that's how the brain works. You
Yeah.
want to create new neural pathways. It's the exact same thing. You do the new thing over and over and over again. I feel like people do get stuck though because they get stuck in the masculine too, and there's a bit of feminine that's required in shifting identity.
Yeah.
It's a balance of both, right?
Always.
So you get stuck in like, here's the XYZ that you have to do to manifest. You got to write this down, and then you got to do this, and then you got to do that. But at some point, you have to surrender the expectation of how you get there and exactly what it looks like. And at some point, you have to stop manifesting and you have to start embodying the woman that already holds it. And that is the hardest part.
Yes, it is. This is where I am at right now. So I have a mentor with whom I'm working. I have a couple of them, but the one that I'm working in more close proximity, uh, something that for me has been hard was to receive, because I have been a giver
Mm,
of my all my life. As I said, I was born like a responsible person and always like giving, 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 giving in different ways. And there was a part, and still is inside myself, that was like, oh, maybe I need to do something to receive whatever. And I've heard this, like, idea of
yes.
having portals, different portals. For one, it's a portal of where I'm doing my actions,
Mm,
another portal where I'm giving that, and another portal where I'm receiving. And they are not
mhm,
intertwined. They are like parallel. I don't need to give so I receive. What I'm
mhm,
doing doesn't have anything with what I'm receiving and
mhm.
with what I'm giving as well. Like, I
Yes.
am, my wordiness, it's innate. I had like a wordiness wound for many, many years. I'm still working through that a little bit. And the receiving part for me was like connected with, am I worthy for all of this? I know I'm capable. I've
Mm,
proved myself in many ways, but am I really worthy to receive everything that I want? And then when
yeah.
I discovered this concept, I was like, I just can relax and receive whatever it's coming. That can be
Yeah.
lessons and a lot of whatever. It's not always blessing, challenges so I can grow and expand or like whatever life brings and God and the universe. But
Mhm.
I'm gonna receive, doesn't matter of my actions and my giving and my business and my kids and my, I don't know, marital status or whatever may be. I can allow
Yeah.
myself to receive.
Yeah. That's a very common wound. The I think we come into not we come into, but we get conditioned into that idea that love and receiving of any kind is transactional. I know my mom drilled that in. It was like, "Oh, you got invited to so and so's house for dinner? When are you gonna have them over to your house?" Like, you had to, like, tit for tat everything.
Yeah,
And that is definitely something that, like, now I'm like, "Okay, how can I give back?" Right? Like, if somebody's gonna give me something, then at some
I'm the
point, I'm
same.
gonna give back something to someone else, and it's not gonna look the same, it's not gonna feel the same, it's just gonna be, when you start to realize that the way in which you're giving so freely to people should also come back in that exact same way, not in the exact same way that it is the same thing, but it is that same effortless feel in which you're willing to give. That should be the same coming back at you. It's like game changing.
Yeah. And when you just give, because I love giving. This is the truth about me. I really love giving.
Same.
Yeah. It is something that I enjoy. It's not like I'm doing, yes, but I have this conditioning and it's still part of me in some ways. It's not gone like,
Yeah.
because this is why I say about the past versions that I don't feel like I don't want to shed them. I want to bring them in an empowered way with me because
Uh-huh.
I've kind of seen like, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't like that version. I don't, no, I want to be all of me because I want to feel the beautiful part in
Everything.
this community, like self development and all of that, is for me to feel the fullness of me. And I
Mm,
sometimes I can feel like such a, in the body, such a content that I want to cry. It's not that
yeah.
often, but I have those moments where like, oh my God, and nothing out of this world happened. It's just that feeling because I allow myself to be there. It is like,
Yeah.
oh my God, it feels so good to be alive. Feels so good. Sometimes when I go
Mm,
somewhere with my husband and we're just having a chat in the car and it's a long ride or whatever that might be. And that feeling makes it to, it's just, it's like you're watering your heart, just blossoms.
mm,
It doesn't bring like, it's not about, yes, I love the bag, but that's something else. That's like the bag, it's part of me, of the human that I love. I love it.
yeah.
But that feeling inside of me, I want to cultivate because it gives me life, years of life, I feel. And it makes
Yes.
me beautiful and excited about life. And it expands me in ways that I cannot even imagine.
Yeah, exactly. Do you feel like as you're shifting into a new identity, like you've made
Yeah.
the decision you're going to be this, how does the inner shift feel before your external catch up? Is it do you like how does it feel emotionally or physically? What does that feel like for you? Or for your
Chaos,
clients
like
even?
it's chaos.
Chaos.
For me,
Yes.
yeah, a lot of time it is chaos. It is, I will love to say that is smooth. Sometimes, yes, parts of it, the identity.
Mm,
But yeah, because I lost my train of thoughts before. Like this is a part that it's, as I was working with my coach. It's not easy to, for me as at least, it's not always easy to hold, like, how can I say, to go in that identity, even to sink in it even deeper, to embody, to integrate in a deeper way. So I have a breakthrough and sometimes I
mhm.
want to act, or before I wanted to action fast on it, but then I got
Yeah, yeah.
kind of rid of that breakthrough. But now I'm like, okay, let's just sit with it and hold this
Yeah.
pressure, like exactly what you're saying. And I have another mentor that explained it this way, like hold it, like you when you put something to boil, or you put the popcorn in the
Mm,
microwave. You don't open the microwave all the time to see, oh, it's done. Oh, it's done. The integration is done. I'm in my new identity. Identity. Have we arrived there yet? No, it's like
yeah.
you're holding that pressure. And the more
Yeah.
you the more you expand and the more you ground. And it's like, I can even imagine closing down my eyes, like in Matrix, the movie, you saw that codes like integrating in the body. Like, this is the visual that I have. I'm a visual
Mm,
person, so I see a lot of
yeah.
those and colors and all of that. So I can see like really the codes being right in my body, like they coded in my
Mm,
body. And I need that. I really need the time to let it sink in and hold the pressure and hold the vision and hold the gifts
mhm,
and hold the whatever offer and the identity more and more. And in the moment that I'm holding, I, for me, it is to really see me in fullest. Like I believe that my gifts are extraordinary, and I impact the world and transform the world because I know that's true. But with fears and the
mhm,
human and the Instagram and other people and all of that, of course, it's coming the comparison and a lot of other things. But if I zoom that out and I go back to hold it, whatever it can be, as I
yeah.
said, I create the space in the body, and you have make a soup and you have all the ingredients. You can have the fear, you can have the excitement, you can have the doubts, you can have all of this, all of that, but you hold because you can hold the duality of pain and pleasure, because in life as a
Mm,
human you always have that. That's the beauty of this life in 3D, in my opinion, again. So I just
mhm,
hold that even more and let the breakthrough go through my body. And if I feel, because I know I feel in my body that I sleep and I go again in the old pattern, I just bring
yeah.
myself back to the core. This is again with the true self,
Mm,
my essence. I bring myself back, and I bring myself like with my mindset. I shift the energy in the body with my breath. I move a little bit
yeah.
the body. I ground myself, feet on the ground. That's something that I always say. Feet on the ground, come back here at the center, Adriana. And then I just recode and again and again. And I'm still learning through that. It's a journey.
Yeah.
It's a journey. It's not something that, but it's sinking in more and more. And then on
Oh,
another level, you
yes.
shift again because that's the journey. Yeah.
It's never done. It's
Yeah.
always the
Basically.
journey is never done. You get comfortable again and more chaos comes in. And that's interesting that you said chaos because I totally agree. I think it's
Yeah.
a missing aspect. We want it to be so orderly, but like think about the world. The world is a reflection of the divine and it is chaotic. There is also chaos in there, and it's through chaos that you can transform into this beautiful thing. And I also have like this weird I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. A lot of there not a lot, but there's some coaches that are like, "Oh, well, you have to clear your house because it like stores energy." And I don't have a crazy
Mhm.
messy house, mind you, but I'm like, at the end of the day, if I have an hour and it's either going to be cleaning up my house or it's going to be doing this shadow work, I'm going to choose cleaning up my insides, you know? So
Yes.
I don't think it makes sense to make that parallel of like the tidier your house is, the more clean your inside is. Because I personally, like, my husband is one of those people who would choose cleaning the house. In fact, anytime a shadow comes out, he will clean the house. And so the house looks
Yes.
great sometimes. Then he flips his leg because he hasn't dealt with the shit
Yeah.
that he should have been dealing with instead of cleaning the house. Um,
Yeah.
so I think sometimes, our we have to make a choice. What are we going to allow to be a little chaotic so that we can sit in the chaos that's inside of us instead of avoiding the chaos? Because that the idea that disease is literally dis-ease. So when we ignore the internal world that is
Exactly.
chaos and we try and clean the external world to make it shiny, then we're actually
Yeah.
creating an environment within ourselves that is like, bring on the disease. Like, so,
Mhm.
what chaos are you willing to live with? Because I would personally rather sit quietly with the chaos inside of me until it becomes orderly and then, clean up the outside after.
Yeah. So this resonates a lot with me, because so I call myself a true self activator by awakening the peace and the power within. So the part of like the peace, it's a very important part for me because I grew up having a father that drank a lot. So we have a lot of
Mm,
discussions. We had a lot of discussions in our life and drama.
yeah.
I even
Yeah.
even I have a post-it here on my wall that says no drama, because if I don't have one, I will create one sometimes. It's like that pattern that's coming back and coming back. So
Mm.
for me, the peace,
Yeah.
and I realized after a while, what the heck, I'm creating this. But then, of course, so many years for me,
Yeah,
that was
that's
the
what your
baseline.
nervous system
Yeah,
felt safe.
yeah, exactly. So I've been recreating that in different ways, like me putting myself in the middle of a situation that I had nothing to do there. And
Mm.
now for me, like that piece, when I came here in France, like when I moved to France and I actually started before the relationship with my now husband. Uh, I remember like thinking, wow, how peaceful I feel. And then
Mm.
3 years ago, when I started running, I had a realization in the park while running. I told
Running
you,
is
like,
so meditative.
yes, it is. It is. It is like for me, nature now, that's the moment when I have the more downloads ever. I'm the more creative I have ever been. And I just had this realization and I started crying. I had the life that I wanted to have. I have my own
Mm.
family now. I have my own kids and I am at peace. And that peace part,
Mm.
it is so important for me
Yes.
because I have a saying that says like I can climb mountains when I'm at peace. I can move the world. I can shift everything when I
Mm.
feel peace inside of me. And it's not that much about the
Yeah.
safety. It is more like the peace with myself. And the chaos for me, it's familiar and I move through it because even in this office that I'm right now, it's not tidy up the way I want it. I do it and then it's go back to a little bit things being everywhere.
Hey.
That's like coming back all the time the same. But probably
Yep.
this is the way that I function. And I feel like
Mm.
I can move like a fish in the water, even though I'm a earth sign. But I feel
Yeah.
like that in a way I can find the peace in who I am. And
And
the
yeah.
chaos comes, but I know how to deal with that. It's
Yes.
it's like the feeling in the body, and I know how to deal with it. And sometimes I'm afraid, and I'm afraid that I cannot sleep because something happens with the teenager that the age is crazy, and a lot of things are coming to the surface from my childhood, and I'm afraid about that.
Mm.
And then I'm like, okay, what I want to do with this, and I'm not gonna lie
Yeah.
saying that it's not scary. Sometimes it can be scary, that chaos. But I
Yeah.
just like I
How old is
breathe.
your teenager?
It's 14 and a half now.
Mm. The fun age.
Yeah, and it is a
Bringing up
wild
lots of
ride.
wounds, I'm sure. It's
Yeah,
a wild
yeah,
ride.
yeah, she is,
The ol
and
is it your oldest?
yeah, but she's my husband's daughter. So,
Mm.
there a little bit of different dynamic as well, and when a kid
Mm.
has been raised by a couple of people, different people, it's not the same. And even with yours,
The
like the one that you
coherence,
have in
yeah.
your belly, it can be really up and down all the time.
Yeah.
But even with that chaos, I find ways. Sometimes now I realize that it takes me 2, 3 days. I pray
Mm.
to God, I clean my energy, I ground myself, I cry.
Mhm.
And
You
sometimes,
process.
yeah, I process all of that. And then I'm just moving through. And then after a couple of days, I'm like, let's go. I'm again excited because my
Yeah,
nature
yeah.
is that. And I want to go back to the nature that I have inside of me. But I find the peace even in that chaos, if that makes sense. My
Yeah.
own peace.
Yeah. What about the people that get stuck in that fear of the chaos, you know? The people that choose to clean their house instead of sitting with their own chaos, that fear,
In
whether it's fear of judgment. Like what is
mm,
your perspective on fear as part of this space?
yeah. So I've seen with different clients that, you have trauma. We all have in different ways. And then they have, if you don't see that person, if you have somebody that says, okay, take action on this. Oh, or you feel again
Mm.
something came to the surface and you're stressed about it and you don't know how to react. If you take action in your business right now and you go all in that direction, everything, no. What I found to
Yeah.
be true, it is you're gonna see that person. You're just gonna land. You allow
Mhm.
that the client, the person, or yourself to
Yeah.
breathe a little bit, to land in the body. You just see it because everyone, what I discovered, at least what I discovered, wants to be seen
Yeah.
and loved, and first to be seen.
Yes.
I just see it
Yes.
and I acknowledge this is valid.
Yes.
is true.
Yeah.
We're not going to put it under the rug. No, 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 no. And I'm not going to tell you to take another action. That time will come.
Mm,
I'm just
mhm.
gonna see it.
Sit.
Yes, sit a
Yeah.
little bit. Yeah, read it.
I
And
think that's
then
one
after
of the
that,
things I'd like to do is like show people that they're seen, and that's how
yeah,
I felt about human design when I first found it. I was like, I feel so validated in this moment, understanding why I got to where I got. And I usually like that's what I love about systems like that is that it all of a sudden somebody, even if it's not a person, but a system allows you to feel like you're seen.
yeah. Oh, yeah. And
Yeah.
after a while, after that person, I feel like they dropped in the body and they are more at peace. Then you can say, like, get out of the
Mm,
body. I've learned many years back, like, get out of the body and feel, be a loving witness. You with yourself.
yeah.
Just be a loving witness, like what I'm feeling right now. Like really, you don't have to change anything because that this idea that we are broke and we need to fix ourselves, then we all are broke if it's like that. But I don't want to see it that way.
Uh,
It's like you have moments when something comes to the surface and you need to meet that because if you don't meet it, then you put it under the rug and it's gonna come like a wave that's gonna hit you on the face. I had
mm,
those moments, like
oh,
really, and you just sit with yourself and you feel in the body, and then if it's too much, because sometimes it is too much, put it on the shelf for a while. Don't forget about
yeah.
it. Don't shove it. Put it on a shelf because there are moments when I cannot deal with a lot of things that are coming. But again, with that pressure that you hold, I haven't done that in a while to put it. If I put it, it's for maybe 2 hours. And then I go
Uh,
back to it when I feel more resourced. And I go back to it
yes.
and I just feel it again. And but with all my clients, I see them. I really see them.
Yeah.
And then after in the session, if I feel at the end of the session that that person come back to their core and their essence, I can offer something, maybe go in this direction or do that, or I'm channeling something that's coming. I give them a
Mm,
guidance because I always, for me, it's equal power. The power can be different, but I want it to be like equal power. We can be at different levels, but I'm going to treat you like you are in your power and I'm going to stay in my power. I'm not going to treat you like
yes.
you are something less. Then you are in
Yeah.
your power, whatever you're going through.
Yeah. That witness is so important, that I feel like is the end game is being able to like I say pull yourself out, but it's not like we're trying to avoid something, but to be able to feel that and then also being
Yeah.
the witness that looks down on it. I have read a lot of books where it talks about and obviously the real core word in Aramaic that is sin is just a misstep, right? It's a missing of the mark. And I've read books like A Course in Miracles that talks about sin not being real, or Gospel of Mary Magdalene, also the same thing, that there's no such thing as sin, and we actually have created it by saying that
Mm,
it's bad,
yeah.
shaming ourselves
Right.
into it. But I didn't really like I understood it on a mind level, but the
Hmm.
reality of it is most things in our lives we can understand up here, but until we like digest it and feel it in the body, we really don't feel what that is. And
Yeah.
I wasn't driving thankfully, but I was sitting in the passenger seat on the way home from church one day, which we don't even go to church anymore because it's just that's not where I find God. I find God in here.
Me
Um
too.
and all of a sudden I was hit with this feeling, this understanding, like I was shown through the eyes of God what God feels like when we sin, like when we make a mistake. And all I could see was like pure and eternal love. That's all I could feel, like just a rush of it. Because in the eyes of
Yeah.
God, every time you make a mistake, every time something like this is happening, it's just a tiny step back into remembering you are one with God. Right? And so in that sense, every little thing that we do, that's good, that's bad, is so beautiful in the eyes of God because it's literally just a step back into remembrance. And it might not feel that way and it might not look that way to us, but to God, everything is in perfect disorder.
Yeah. 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 Because just think about the fact what when you look at the person or in general, you want to see all the flavors of that person. and you're going to like them
Mhm.
for different things they do, whatever you resonate with. If
Yeah.
they are like the same and nobody does anything and everything is perfect and everything, it's like you just go in the store and you see something, yeah, you're going to like it one time, two times, three times. But then it's like,
Mm.
this is boring. I want
Yeah.
something that have no, I want something that have flavors and different perspectives. And this is the beauty, of course.
Mm.
Like when I connect with God, for me, it's really youthful. Like I connect in a way when I was younger and we went to the church, but wasn't that pressure or anything. And it's every time it's kind of this youthful energy. And I'm a kid, and always the answer is, of course, Adriana, you're a kid of God, like everybody is. And it feels
Yeah.
so light, and it feels like I'm just being, and it's light and it's easy, and I don't need to do anything or be anything. This is how I feel God in my body. And it always brings me
Mm.
childhood for me. How
Yeah.
do you feel God in the body on a daily basis, or whatever, whenever you connect? Or
I feel God in the body in my heart. I'm doing this yoga. I have the first one here. This fellowship,
hmm
and in it, it talks about how everyone has like a certain energy center that's their center. And I feel like for
hmm
me, and I know because I've just done a past life regression about a month ago, like QHHT, the Dolores Cannon ones. That was a wild ride. It was like 7.5 hours. It was like
oh my
25
God.
years of therapy in one day. Um, and Yeah, when I connect to God, I feel it in my heart chakra. I can feel that expansion and I can feel it overflowing. And that's definitely, and then sometimes I can feel it kind of coming down and into my hands, and I feel this like ball of energy and love. So for me, it's there. But like for a lot of people, according to this, it tends to be in your solar plexus or in your ajna and where you really connect to.
hmm
But for me, it's definitely in here. And then also it's like spending time in stillness, right? Like spending
Yeah,
time in
really,
stillness
really.
just because a book is telling me it should be in my solar plexus and it should be in my ajna. Am I going to override that when I all I feel is here? I feel heart expansion every
Yeah.
time. Um yeah, so I think, understanding that we all have one center that's going to like feel that expansion and that love and that divine, but it's going to be slightly different for everyone. Pay attention,
Yeah.
stop handing over your authority to someone else because someone else says, "Oh, you're supposed to feel it here." No,
Yeah.
you're going to know, and it's going to be unique to you.
Yeah. Like with everything. This is something that I always say in whatever content that I'm doing, or even with my clients, because I believe in equal power. Then you put everything through your own filters, whatever it
Yes.
goes through your body, to your being, to who you are. Because I cannot be you, and I don't want to be you, and you don't want that. You want
Yeah.
you to be you, and transform and grow and expand and learn a lot of
Yes.
things, but through you, because you are unique, and then you see life different. And it's beautiful to have these flavors and different people and be different, everyone, and have like exactly what you said. Like we have a thing, like a concept, but everybody sees from a different lens and through their own filters.
Mm,
And then you can agree to disagree with whatever, but then we all can grow from that in our own
yes.
way. But we
Yeah.
all can grow. And with God, it's like the same. You feel it in the way you want to feel it. And that for me, that's something that I'm really proud of, because I don't want anybody to be like me.
Yeah.
Like, you feel and do your stuff the way you want it, but then give me the space to be me and my own way. If not, I'm going to set the boundary there
Yeah.
with whoever. Yeah.
I think that's like the biggest red flag for me in the spiritual world when someone says like this is the only way because it's not. Like if I recently saw somebody say that they had, and I've always talked about my experience seeing Christ in a way that I'm like, I'm not special. This is meant for everyone. Everyone's going to experience it in different ways. This is how I experience it. You can choose to allow yourself to have the Holy Spirit descend and have
Mhm.
your clairs open, whatever you want to call it, right? But the fact of the matter is, like, you have to surrender. Like, and so I always fully am like, I am not special. I might be here to tell my story, to be like, look, you can be in a chaotic life and have 4 children and 3 dogs and 2 cats and still have the Holy Spirit descend upon you. You can have one
Of
foot in
course.
absolute chaos and still be with your head up in the clouds. And I feel like it's easier to be in that liminal space, the threshold space that you resonate with and that I really
Yeah.
resonate with. Like, I've been diving deeply into Hedge Witch, readings because, like, that's the space, or, like, Hecate, because it's, like, that liminal space where you're half in one world, half in the other, and I feel like it's so much easier to ground myself, and you may feel the same way when you have children, because, like, I can't keep my
Well,
head
of
up in the
course.
clouds all day long. Like, I have to go have a spiritual experience and, like, have a vision with Christ and then go downstairs and clean a dirty diaper, you know? Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
there's
of
no
course.
staying up in the clouds for me forever.
Well,
So
yeah, and for me on Wednesdays when the twins, because here in France, until you arrive, like you are 12, you don't have school on Wednesday. Oh my God, I feel
oh,
so
weird.
tired. Yeah, this is how they have it. Like, and after 12 years, you're bigger, and then you go half a day on Wednesday. And
Okay.
yeah, and for me, because the French people, they think the kids have need more space and like to breathe and do whatever and
Well,
play.
they
And of course,
do. That's
yeah,
not
of
a
course.
bad thing.
No, at all. It's not. And
Maybe a
my
bad
kids
thing for
are like,
mom.
yeah, it is. And now I'm used to it, but I'm really tired because being a projector and I'm a Spanish projector. So for
Uh,
me, I really need the time to relax. But I do that. Like I live on Wednesday, the house, it's crazy. Let me tell you, like it's really crazy. And I just sit on the couch and watch Gilmore Girls for the 7th time. I don't know how many times.
yeah.
Yeah, just because I want to relax and just be. And sometimes I just dream about whatever. And you mentioned
Oh.
Hecate. I don't connect with her, but I have somebody like a client that connected and I felt her power. And when I did a session with that client, and for me, it was like, damn, this is beautiful and powerful. Makes me really
Mm,
happy to feel the power of other person that I'm holding the space for
yeah.
and to feel whatever connection they have with their guides or God, or I felt God through other
Mhm,
clients. And that makes me really happy. This is why I'm
mhm.
doing the work because it makes me happy. Like truly, when I finish a session, if there are 20 people, I'm so excited for 1 hour after in the session. And then after,
Yeah.
but then after, like my projector is okay, I need to go to sleep
Yeah.
or drink
Yeah.
a Coca Cola because that will ground me for some reason.
It's interesting, Coca-Cola. It's
Yeah.
interesting you brought up the TV though, because your brain waves go into theta when you're watching TV. Like, if you're not like a channel flipper, obviously. Like,
Mhm.
if you put something on and you
Yeah.
just zone out, that's literally putting you in theta brainwaves, which is the same thing as meditation.
Yeah. And for me, if it's something that I like and I don't really need to be so present because I've
Mhm.
already seen the scenes, it just
Yeah.
makes me feel good. And I'm just there and relaxing the body. And sometimes, even when I'm
Mm,
cleaning the house and I'm listening to something, I
mhm.
get a lot of ideas, creative ideas.
Yes.
Because I'm
Yeah.
allowing the space to just be, there's no pressure like that pressure of stress to just act or do something. It's more like I'm
Yeah.
allowing myself to be. And then I stop and I record myself on the phone with whatever idea I have.
Yeah. So I guess leading into our last question here, I was going to
Yes.
ask what practical signs someone can look for when to know that they're in the process of internally shifting before we see it on the outside. But
Mm,
I mean that also is one of those signs, is like when you're mindlessly doing something, you're getting downloads.
yes. And also the chaos, it's a sign for me. Because you
Yes,
know
the
what?
chaos.
Yeah, this is, oh my God, this year, because has been the snake year with a lot of shedding and a lot of things. I
Yeah.
had so many times, like I felt like I'm at the brink of it, like there at the edge of it, on the top of it, like the timeline, the shift, the quantum leap. Because all of a sudden I'm
Yeah.
like hype, I'm really hype. I have a lot of downloads, and then something I need to pay something, or somebody says something, or it hits me like this summer I went for a run. I stopped running. I was listening to something. I was on the side of the road, so happy and felt so good.
Yeah.
I knew that something was coming, and
Uh-huh.
something came, but not what I expected. A lady that hit me with with the bike on my back. She was coming, and I was, what the heck is happening? But I knew that I'm gonna
You're
have the
about to
jump.
shift. Yeah.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
about to shift. And
Wow.
it's different,
That's beautiful.
but it is chaos and the storm. And I always say, go to the eye of the storm. Don't stop in front of it.
Uh,
Move through it. Move through it, whatever that might
yes.
be. Don't get expanded through that storm. Yeah.
That's a good analogy because the eye of the storm is also calm. And I think that that's where we tend to go wrong too, is as you start to see the manifestation of that quantum leap and you get so excited that you contract. Right. And so, how
Mm-hmm.
do we, in that excitement where you're like, oh my God, this is happening, like this is happening, instead of then taking that emotion and not allowing yourself to go and sit with it and expand. I mean, like, this is
And
happening because it's
expand. Yeah.
supposed to happen,
Mm-hmm.
right? This isn't like, oh my God, this is it. This is what I manifested. How
Yeah.
do I sit in the eye of that storm? And that is, again, coming back to some sort of stillness in the chaos instead of,
Yes.
because something like this sign of like being hit could literally like completely disrupt your nervous system and you could
Mm-hmm.
go right back
Yes.
to contracting. But now that you've also
Mm-hmm.
noticed that this is something that happens as you're about to leap, you can, as you start to create these huge manifestations of, I want to reach 100,000 people or I want to reach whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And you can now, as it starts to happen, use that same technique that you use in the physical world as you see these little like shifts actually physically happening. Because we can have the shift, but how do we hold the shift?
Yeah. Like the jellyfish, I saw a documentary with my husband and my kids a while back. And the jellyfish is actually, this is the way he is advancing in the water: contraction, expansion,
Mm,
contraction, expansion, contraction,
mm,
expansion. So that just stood with me,
that's so
it was stuck
cool.
with me. Yeah, because this is life. This is you, this is me, this is everyone. You feel
Hmm.
that contraction, that resistance, you lean into the resistance. And it's like you're just
Yeah.
going, like you're swimming in the water. You're just leaning to that and move with it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you can do it exactly in the stillness, because in the stillness, you feel yourself. If you distract yourself
Yes.
with a lot of things, then you
Yeah.
lose the momentum and the quantum leap. But if you go
Yep.
into stillness and you feel the resistance, and intentionally you lean into that and move with that, then you do
Uh,
the quantum leap.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, one of the things I always felt like I had chosen this life, but also I had chosen it because I literally lived a very disciplined life, right? Like I was living and breathing bodybuilding. Like I
Mhm.
was eating 3,500 calories a day and like doing everything so regimented for years, like for years I did this. And it allows me now in this world where I'm quantum leaping and expanding, I take this discipline and I put it into stillness. And that sounds really crazy. It sounds counterintuitive, but when I'm having these big
I
expansion
know.
moments, I'm like, how do I, every day I'm going to do this. This is what my routine is going to look like so that I can be that expanding container. And then also still living in the flow, right? I'm not going to be like, it has to look like this, and this.
Mhm,
But I'm like,
mhm.
I actually allow myself to be led, right? And I go on YouTube and I'm like, okay, what yoga video looks good today? Like, I'm not like I have to do this. I'm
Yeah,
like, what
yeah.
feels good? Like, where does my sacral just jump and say, that's the one? And
Mhm.
same thing with Kundalini yoga. Like, what Kriya just is speaking really loudly to me today? And I just do it. And
Yeah,
I guess my discipline is more like I'm doing this movement, I'm doing these two things, I'm doing this meditation. I'm going to be led wherever I'm supposed to be led, but I'm still being like this. Every morning I'm doing this. This is like my discipline.
I love what you said, like the discipline part. And I love the fact that it's counterintuitive, that actually is not, because that's the hardest part for everyone, to be still. Like
Mm,
we are doing, I'm in a membership that we are doing 15 minutes receiving practice. And every day you need to stay for 15 minutes, sometimes without anything.
mm,
And it sounds, oh, just 50 minutes. It's hard.
Yeah.
When you,
Yeah.
because it's like you need how Dr. Joe Dispenza always says, like, say to your body as you maybe say to a dog, like, just sit, and you will see that it's not that easy. And it is, maybe can sound
Mm,
counterintuitive, but it's actually really hard to be still. Because with everything that we
yes.
have, just imagine you have the phone, you have the TV, you have a book, you have a lot of things that you can do. You can eat something, whatever.
Yeah.
Now that you can have everything, to just be. And that discipline, of course, is going to help you. Now you know, like your body, your being knows, I'm taking this from whatever I did before, like with the bodybuilding, but I'm putting it to work here. And I'm going to stay still,
Yeah.
and I'm going to listen to my body, and I'm going to have that quantum leap. And then again, and
Yeah.
then again. And I love, you said it a
Yeah.
couple of times. I choose. I chose this life. I chose that. I chose that. You said it this a couple of times, and I love that, because there's always a choice.
Yeah.
There's always a
Yeah.
choice. I think what you choose, and then with the repetition, it's coming. And in the stillness, you have
Yeah.
the shift, you have the idea, you have the inspiration, you have the intuition, and then you act on that.
Hmm.
But if you're distracted,
Yeah.
you don't even hear it. It's just gonna go
Yes. And
bypass.
that's what I tell generators and manifesting generators is like for somebody who is like myself, a manifesting generator who is a generator, we're meant to respond to life, right? But if you're distracting yourself, you're not seeing the things that you're meant to respond to. Right. And so
Yeah.
stillness is so important for all of us in different ways because you think like this manifesting generator and generator, go, go, go. And we have all this life force energy that we're meant to share with everyone.
Mhm.
But I don't get that life force energy that I can share with other people unless I sit in stillness and allow myself to receive the signs that I'm meant to respond to. And just like
Exactly.
you being a projector, you don't have the energy to share your unique gifts
Mhm.
unless you sit in the stillness. So
Mhm.
stillness is so important. And like the receiving thing that you're doing is beautiful. Like it's actually very similar to what Christians would call like contemplative prayer, which is where you
Mhm.
just open yourself to receive whatever God is
Mhm.
going to allow you to receive that day. And it is completely underrated, and we all need to do more of it.
Yeah, I've tried to do it like for 30 minutes, but it takes me, like, my thoughts are everywhere. But I'm doing more and more because
Mm.
I expand. If I really allow myself, like one time, for the first time in my life, I heard it so clearly. This is why I decided to call myself a true self activator, because the message from my higher self, I saw myself on top of the mountain, and I was next to my higher self. And this beautiful orange light
Mm.
was like, we were in the middle of the orange light, and the message was so clear, like, show them who they truly are. This is why you're here. Show them who they truly are. And that, wow, was like, oh my God, if I
Yeah.
can be so still and receive
Yeah.
this,
Chills.
yes, I want that. I want more of that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And I feel like that's why I like breath work, like longer sessions too, is because for me that's kind of
Mhm.
where I go. I can just contemplate. I do like guided meditations and things like that, but at the end of the day, it's the ability to just release the expectation of what you're going to do. That's the hardest
Yeah.
one, you know. We can
Yeah.
it's like you can receive in snippets because we've been conditioned to need this like instant gratification, and then to
Mhm.
have to condition yourself out of that is hard. But I also to see like the power in having these guided meditations and like intention behind your meditation as well as a beginning, right? I think you need both. It's all about both, right? Because I think
Mhm.
the unguided allow myself to receive is that feminine, but then having like a guided meditation or going in because like it, if you want to look at it as prayer or if you want to look at it as just
Mhm.
like having an intention going into a meditation where you're like, oh, I'm having this problem with my teenager. How do I like give me a sign? My intention going into this is just to have more clarity on
Mhm.
the situation. You need both, like we can't just choose one or the other. We really have to. It's always coming back to divine union within yourself. is
I
masculine
know.
and feminine, and it's
Yeah.
always like ebbs and flows, right? Like sometimes your feminine's a
Yes.
little bit better, sometimes you're masculine, but we're like, how
Yeah.
do we just keep going back and forth? Because if you just keep going feminine, it's not going to end well, and if you just keep going masculine, also not a good plan.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I agree with that. You need the divine masculine to hold the feminine, because if not, the feminine will be everywhere. And then all of a sudden, you're asking yourself, "Okay, what I've done? I feel like I feel good, but I'm here and there and everywhere. Like
Yes.
I don't really bring
Yeah.
yourself back." And that's for me, it's important, like to the core, the essence, because we all relate with something and find that thing that works for you
Mhm.
and then go back to that, because you can listen
Yeah.
to me, everybody can listen to you and to everybody, because everybody has an opinion, and that's okay and that's beautiful. But then go back to you and resonate, create that space, exactly, like let it be like a dance between them, where
Mhm.
you want to be in the flow but have the container and manifest and
Yeah.
achieve the things that you desire. And sometimes, a lot of times, you need to hold the pressure until they are coming to fruition. Sometimes longer, sometimes not that long,
Yeah.
but it's exactly with that like instant gratification. I believe we all go through that at some point or many times in our journey.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, it is very true. Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining me today and
you're
sharing
so
your
welcome.
wisdom and sharing what the in between looks like. Before we leave, where can everyone reach you?
So on Instagram, my handle is Adriana Bisorka Coaching, or the same on Facebook or on TikTok. I'm not that
Okay.
much on TikTok, but Instagram and Facebook.
Yes. So I will put those links as well in the show notes. But
Thank you.
yeah, if anything resonated with you guys today while you were listening, please share it with somebody who you think it might resonate with. And join us next time for some more conversations. Thank you. I love you. I'll see you in the next
Thank
spiral.
you.